I'm going to breathe first before I have a live panic attack. Not really going to have a panic attack. It's Monday night, which means we're live from my closet, and we're doing the Instagram thing also. So I'm going like this, back and forth. Those of you on Instagram, sorry, but you're going to have to learn my rituals. It's time to put on closet lipstick so that in case my mom joins, she doesn't get annoyed. She likes when I wear lipstick when I'm on camera, whatever you want to call this. All right, so tonight we are doing a live from my closet based on the question I put out earlier. I stuck it in my stories on Instagram. Oh, hold on, I'm already getting comments. Robin, how do you look so good in the closet before bed? I haven't even showered yet. Like, I have fed everyone. I still have my makeup on from 8 o'clock this morning. I appreciate you saying that, but I feel like I look like I'm run ragged. But thank you. So I put a question out, and because I'm new doing this to Instagram and I've been doing it on Facebook for so long, just bear with me with the switching between two screens. I can't put the same descriptions up for you guys on IG. So I usually do a breakdown of what the topic of the day is, the vent session, and what I'm loving. So today's topic of the day, and if you answered earlier in my stories, thank you for your feedback, and thank you guys on Facebook. I asked what things you swore you would never do as a parent before you had kids that you do now. And the answers were awesome. A lot of them were very, very similar. So like there were probably 5 that were the most popular answers. But I love this question because I'm guilty of it too. I think that before you have kids, hi Sam. I think before you have kids, you're a little bit of an asshole. Like you're very, not about everything, but about kids. You have in your head how you think it's going to be. You lay out the plans of what you think you're going to do. And I think it's actually pretty normal for people to feel like that because you have your core personality and how you think you're going to be as a parent. But if you're a parent, which I would think the overwhelming majority of you joining me are, because I know that that's my core audience, then you know that all of that is bullshit. And if you don't have kids, buckle up, because whatever you think is going to happen, it's not going to go that way. Hi, baby Olivia. So when I asked you guys the question, hi, Carol, here's some of the answers I got, and I loved them all. First of all, the most, hands down, the most popular answer that parents pre-kids said they wouldn't do is bribery, which is hilarious. Hi, Elena. And if I butcher your name on Instagram because everyone's handles are a little bit different than on Facebook, I'm sorry. I'm doing the best that I can. So the number one answer of people, what they said they would not do was bribery. And I think that's like the number one thing you do as a parent is bribe your children. You bribe them with candy, you bribe them with screen time, you bribe them with toys. You basically spend 90% of your day bribing your child, whether it's intentional or not. I'm 11. This is triggering. Stop swearing. I'm happy you're here, but you shouldn't be here if you're 11 because this is adult content about our kids. So I'm so happy to have you, but maybe you shouldn't join us because there's going to be a lot more cursing. We do a lot of that here. Hi, Lynn. I'm missing so much stuff here. This is overwhelming with 2 screens. Maybe I need like a co-host. Bribery is literally the only way to get by with a toddler. Agreed. It's all bribery or threats. It's what you do. I really do think that so much of parenting is bribery or threats, whether you try to do it or not, because you get to the point where you just want your child to do something, whether it's to put their shoes on to leave or do their homework or brush their teeth or whatever it is. And you literally get desperate, and desperate times call for desperate measures. Sam says, bye, Felicia. Oh, it's the 11-year-old? I know. I don't want to be mean to children because I'm a mom and I love kids, but this is probably not the right spot for them. Okay, so bribery was the number 1. Number 2 was screen time. So many people, and I hear this, and I'm sure all of you parents out there hear the same thing. Oh, I will never give my child an iPad in a restaurant. Okay, Barbara, let me know how you feel when you can't finish a meal because your child is losing it. Because no child, let's be like honest for a second. no matter how well behaved your kid is, and I had one, my older one was super easy in restaurants. My younger one is like a beast, and I have not done anything different. Some kids are very good about sitting and having a meal, and some want nothing to do with it. Like when I was a kid, I don't want to sit in a restaurant. I don't want to do that. So we tell ourselves that we will have conversation and talk about our days. That's like a pipe dream. So the sooner you accept that screen time is going to be a very big part of your time as a parent, and it's different for everyone. Maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's an hour, whatever it is, you do you. But don't be so judgy when people use screen time with their kids, because sometimes it is necessity and not entertainment for the kid. It's so we can get things done. So don't be an asshole and judge people who do it. Just, you don't want to do it, don't do it. That's fine. Lindsay, negotiation. Yes, that falls into the bribery thing, 100%. All right, Stephanie says, my 4-year-old won't be bribed and it's awful. He doesn't care what you're offering. He wants what he wants. So I have one like that. My older one is like that. And we had that issue with sleeping, with co-sleeping. And that was another very popular one on here. Many people say they will never allow their child in their bed. But guess what? When it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and your baby wakes up and sit there and rock that baby before they go back to sleep, unless you do the cry it out thing, which I can't. I did it once. I didn't do it second time. I've lived on both sides. I have very strong opinions about it, but I will not share them here because to each his own. But you lose it at a certain point and you just want to sleep, because if you don't sleep and you are not functioning, everyone's day goes to hell. So I did the same thing. Both of my children, my older one slept in my bed for such a long time. And to your point, Stephanie, no matter what I offered her, I was like, I will get you an HD TV in your room. I will get you fish. I will get you clothing. I will buy you jewelry. We can get your ears pierced. Like, I was willing to do anything, and she did not care. She just wanted to be in my bed. She could not be bought. So I get it. There are some kids like that. You couldn't even use like the #1 parenting tactic on one of them. Hopefully on the other ones it worked and you got to experience that. Okay, I have to cross these off because I'm going to lose my space. Okay, so we covered bribery. We covered screen time. Another one that was very popular was pacifiers. There are so many people who are like, I'm never going to give my child a pacifier. Guess what? You probably will. If I have friends whose kids would not take pacifiers and they were begging, praying that their kids would just take a pacifier, and you work it out later. No child's going to go to like 2nd grade with a pacifier. They're probably not going to go to kindergarten, but I'm trying not to impose my limits in my head on other people. The bottom line is your child is not going to get married, graduate high school, do all those things with a pacifier. Eventually it's going to go away. Gloria says, allowing my youngest child to sleep in my bed was the only way I got to sleep. Exactly. So you have to choose sometimes. Like, do you want to give that tough love and basically do what it takes to get your child to sleep in their bed, because it doesn't happen overnight. It takes days, sometimes weeks, sometimes months. Everyone's different. Or do you just want to sleep so you can function? Elena, pacifiers are life. I totally agree. And my little one is very much into the pacifier the same way her sister was. And I actually get really annoyed when people, especially I have people in my life, my best friend does it all the time. I have family members who do it. They will walk in and be like, give me that pacifier. And I want to be like, why? It's not your child. Why do you care? If my child has a pacifier, I'm fine with it. Live and let be, and we'll figure it out. It will all work itself out. Stephanie, I also had one who wouldn't take a pacifier, and it was awful. Apparently, if you have enough kids, it's all about the odds. I was just going to say, you have like a whole brood of children, so you probably have experienced a lot of different things. Samantha says, how do I become a top fan? You are the cutest. I don't know. I have nothing to do with it. It just happens. I get notifications. I think it probably has to do with how many times you comment on posts. That's the only thing I can think of. But I do not choose them or select them. It happens, and I love it because it's super exciting. But I can't help you out there. It just happens. Elena, I've had 2 children that use them and 2 that did. 2 children that used them and 2 that did not. I'm guessing you meant. The ones that did were much happier babies. I have children with special needs and we break all the rules. But that's the thing. And this is what makes me so upset. I don't know why people think there's rules. Like, to me, motherhood is such a personal journey, and every kid is different. And I think that moms are some of the greatest resources because we are living in the trenches and there's so many things that we can share with each other. But I also think that we have to be very supportive of one another. And I think there's a very fine line in how you give advice, whether it's solicited or unsolicited. And it's all about like the delivery. You can say the same thing in two different ways and it will be taken in two different ways. So for example, if people ask me, oh, what do you do about this or that, whatever it is, I will never say, you need to, you should, this has to happen. I always say things like, well, what worked for me was X, Y, and Z, because I want to be very sensitive to the fact that every parent is different, every child is different, every household is different. We all have our limits. And I think that's totally okay. So break the rules because there's actually no rules. The mom diaries literally today, first dentist appointment, told us to get rid of his binky and now we're ruining his bite. First of all, that's not true. And let me just, well, I shouldn't say it's not true because I'm not a dentist and I don't want everyone to use anything I'm saying as fact. But I will tell you that I have learned that every child I've met who is my 10-year-old's age, which is around the age where at least here they're all starting to get braces, they all need braces whether they had a pacifier or not. So I think it's all bullshit. As my doctor said, pick your battles. 100%. Pick and choose the things that are important to you and do it. Sam, I love you and I should be a top fan. You totally should. I don't know why. I don't know how they're selected. I'll do some research. Michelle, what amazes me about pacifiers, and I've seen this, when a parent puts one in a baby's mouth when they're content and not fussing. Okay, but who cares? Like, why does anyone care what someone else does with their kids? Because I've done that. I absolutely have. And the reason I do it, to be perfectly honest with you, is if we're in the car and I know she's going to lose it, I don't have time to like reach around and give her a pacifier. So I just proactively give her the pacifier. I have accepted the fact that I just don't care if she has a pacifier. If she's happy, if she's crying, there's no rule that you can only have a pacifier if you're upset. If it makes her happy and it makes her comfortable and it's a comfort to her, then I am all about it. I think that our time with our kids when they're little, where we're controlling the situation, is so short. And at some point, they're going to make up their own mind and do their own things. And so I don't see an issue whether they're content or not. I think that every mother has the right to do what they want with their child. It is not for us to judge. Why do I have so many 11-year-olds? Listen, this is my channel. I am 42 years old and I am allowed to swear. So what you guys should do is you should go watch like YouTube people unbox things. That's what I think you should do, because I'm just doing me. Amanda, I still have my baby blanket and sleep with it every night. You are not the only person I know who does that, and that's totally okay. Michelle, yes, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Other mothers wish they were as chic as you. You are the cutest, Blaine. Thank you. All right, so let's talk about some of the other ones. Spit wiping or licking dirt off faces. I've done that too. I've totally done that. A really, really big popular one, and this one kind of goes along with the negotiating, is empty threats. I am like the queen of empty threats. I'm like, if you don't do this, this is going to happen. It never happens. I make empty threats like it's my job. I think we all do it because at the end of the day, we don't necessarily want to put the punishment or repercussions in place. And so we threaten them hoping it's going to change. It's like the same thing when you count to 3. Does anyone know what's supposed to happen when you get to 3? Because I don't know. You do 1, you do 2, and you hope that they snap into action when you hit 3, but I don't actually know what I'm supposed to do when I get to 3. You do that too, imperfect moms? I don't know. I don't know is there supposed to be a punishment? Are you supposed to lose it? I don't know what's supposed to happen at 3. And I have a very smart toddler who now when I go 1, she goes 2. Like it's a game. So it's completely lost on her. But the whole 1, 2, 3 thing, that's the same as empty threats. Same exact thing as empty threats. Hi, Stace. All right. Let's see. Oh, this was a good one. This wasn't a popular one, but a couple people said it and I loved it. Promising not to become your mother. Swearing that you are never going to be like your mother. Spoiler alert. You are going to have things that are going to be like your mother, whether you like it or not. My mother is an awesome mother. We do things a little bit differently in a bunch of different times in our lives with certain situations, but I am completely fine being my mother. I know some people get really freaked out about it, but it's kind of inevitable because you were raised by this person, and good, bad, or indifferent, there's going to be certain things that you carry with you, whether you mean to or not, and everyone's going to have that moment. And raise your hand if you have had them, but where you say something, whether it's an expression, whatever it is, and you're like, oh my God, I am my mother. We all do it. Oh my God, I'm so glad I came in here. I have 5 kids and I never got to 3. Yeah, I don't know what happens to 3. I don't know. And the funniest thing about it is that there are kids who are genuinely intimidated by it, as if they know something's going to happen. So it's like one of the biggest kept secrets of motherhood is that we don't know what we're supposed to say. So the 11-year-olds who are on here who aren't supposed to be watching me, because you should actually be in bed anyway, like getting a good night's sleep for school. I'm sorry I just ruined your parents' lives by telling you that we don't know what we're supposed to do when we get to 3. Hey, all right. Hold on, I'm missing comments here. Okay, Lynn says, I start with punishments, removing all the privileges at 3. Like what? Like phones, screen. See, that's the other thing. We're going to talk about this. Someone on here, Stephanie, I think it was you actually, was talking about the age of cell phones. Like before you were a parent, you were like, I'm not getting my child a phone until they're this age. And then it goes out the window because they're getting phones younger and younger. They need them to communicate to some extent, depending on what their lives are like. And now that my older one has a phone, it's the best and worst thing. It's the best because that's leverage. That is total leverage. It's the only thing she cares about. So if I need to take something away, that is it. So maybe I need to start counting to 3 and taking her phone away. Carol says when they start finishing the count. I know, it's so bad, like no respect. Stacy, so I started counting 1, 2, 3, and Ashton did the same thing you just said. So now I go backwards starting with 5. It's good to throw them off. Kelly, Ronnie says I'm exactly like my father with Jenna. I completely agree with him. Lynn, yes, the phones, TV, video games. Yeah, you have to like figure out what is important to your child. Years ago, I saw Jerry Seinfeld live down here, and he did a really funny bit about how when you get really pissed off at your children and you're trying to get them to snap into shape, you go almost into like mafia mode where you're like, and I forgot, I'm going to butcher it, but he said something like, and I have my kid's teddy bear. And I'm like, you like this teddy bear, don't you? How would you feel this teddy bear went out the window? So we threaten. I have threatened to throw toys out the window. I have walked in the rooms with garbage bags. I mean, and I don't do any of it. I'm completely just not equipped to deliver. Imperfect Moms, 8th grade before high school for the phones. See, that down here, the peer group down here, it is not 8th grade. It is well before that. And we got our daughter one earlier. Logistically, her dad and I are divorced, and it's just annoying to have to go through another parent to get to your kid. So there's a little bit more of an impetus for us to do it, but kids do not get them before 8th grade here. I think the average age in South Florida for a kid to get their own cell phone is 10 or 11. True story. Lynn, I've heard my mother's words come out of my mouth. Totally freaks me out. Stacy says, I've stopped myself many times realizing I'm repeating all the things my mom spit out at me. It is bound to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. All right. So we had promising to become your mother. I can cross off. Cell phones I can cross off. One of the things that was similar to the negotiating, and I do this also, is bargaining with your child to get them to eat. And I have very strong feelings about this too, because I do think if you put too much pressure on your kids with food, you create anxiety that it was never there to begin with, but they don't know any different. And as crazy as it sounds, and you can think I'm being dramatic, but I danced my whole life. I was in a sorority. I have been surrounded by women with eating issues and eating disorders. And I do think that when you put anxiety on your kids with food, and that's how you set the tone for food, that there can be markers that lead to those types of behaviors. And so I'm very, very conscious and careful about it. But we all as parents get to the point where you have a child who maybe just started eating and they were a really good eater for a while, and then all of a sudden it tapers off and you start to freak out. And so you're like, I'll give you an M&M if you eat a piece of chicken. We all do it. Everybody does it. If you don't do it, how does it feel to be a liar? Okay. One of the answers on Instagram that I love was everything. Someone actually answered everything, and that's a very honest answer, and I love it. The mom who knew too much. This is important to highlight. Good for you. About the eating issues, it's top of mind for me, always, always. Another really funny one, if you've had kids probably in the last, I don't know how long it's been around, maybe the last decade, those nose Frida things, where you suck the snot out. This person swore they'd never used one, and now it's like their life. I could never bring myself to do it. I couldn't do it. I have one. I've never used it. Co-sleeping. Oh, this is a really good one. Making different meals for everyone in your house. I love when people, and I know people really do this. Like it's not, I know that people actually stick to this and they're lucky, they have good eaters. If you have not been plagued with a picky eater, you just don't understand the struggle. And it's not as easy as saying, they're just going to eat whatever I put on the table, because they're not going to eat it. And as a parent, you feel guilty and upset if your child doesn't eat because they're growing. And so you have this whole like internal conflict and argument with yourself. And so people will be very strict in saying they're not going to make different meals for their kids. Just tonight, I made 4 different meals. Am I 42 or 70? I don't understand that. Sounds like an insult, but I'm 42. Thanks. Okay. What else? Oh, the minivan. We had someone say who they would never get a minivan. I have not gotten a minivan. I'm not doing it. It's never going to happen. But I know many people who did say that and got them. And so that is a very common thing before you have kids. So those were, oh wait, one of my other favorites, not wearing leggings every day. You're a moron. Oh, is that an 11-year-old calling me 42 or 70? Like, first of all, what are you doing on Instagram at 9 o'clock at night watching a 42-year-old mother talk about motherhood? It's a little bit weird. You should do more age appropriate things. It's a little bit odd, but you do you. Maybe you'll learn something tonight. Maybe you'll stop driving your parents insane. I don't know. Someone said they swore they would not wear leggings every day. And we know that leggings are awesome. So I loved it. They were really good answers, you guys, really good feedback. I hope that you're enjoying this kind of format, because it's fun for me to include your guys' answers in all this stuff and not just have like a conversation with myself. So I appreciate when you guys participate. Okay. As for the food issue, when my kids were little, I would have a calendar of what we would have on which days. Each kid pick one choice. Now they're older. So that's actually a really good tactic that I've heard. And a psychologist told me this. She's like, make whatever you're going to make for your family and then always give your kid an out. Like say, okay, if you don't want this, you can have pasta or peanut butter, whatever it is. You pick one thing, cereal, that can be their out. And I've done that a couple of times. It does work. Stacy, are you kidding? I wish I could wear leggings every day. Well, it's a little bit different. You're visiting offices where you have to like be professional, but you can change into leggings in the car, like, and get yourself out of those prisoner pants, and live your best life. Okay. All right. So that's our topic of the day. Now we're going to have a little vent sesh. And I just posted a little while ago on my feed about traveling without my kids. I'm going away tomorrow by myself. Well, not by myself, with a bazillion other writers and bloggers. Super excited about it, but it is nerve-wracking, the amount of prep that had to go into the logistics to make it happen. So I don't have a full-time nanny or sitter or anything like that. I have someone that comes a couple days a week so I can get work done. So I had to basically piecemeal sitters together, work with my husband's work schedule, figure out when my mom could be looped in, get everything organized. And as silly as it sounds, if you've ever done this, you understand my pain. That was the most stressful out of all of it, because I'm relying on other people. I hate asking for help. I feel bad putting anyone in a situation where they have to inconvenience themselves for me. And so it's humbling and uncomfortable. And so I had to do a lot of that. And 5 days is a long time, you guys. It's not like a weekend. 5 days is a significant amount of time. Then I had to change my schedule with my ex, because so my daughter can be with him to go to school every day and not mess up her whole schedule. And that now I lose 3 days with her that would have been mine. So there's just so many things that are making me ragey and stressed out. And I know when I get there, I will be great and calm and awesome and in my element and with my people. And so it'll be wonderful. But I am like teetering on the edge right now of being like crying real tears because I'm so stressed out. I'm also like super, I'm PMSing. Sorry, 11-year-olds, but that's going to happen to you too. So I am like very, very on edge, trying to like take deep breaths and be calm about it, but it is not easy. And I know that when I'm in a hotel room without kids kicking me in the stomach in the middle of the night, and I get to sleep in a bed by myself and not have to worry about what restaurant I'm going to and if they have a kids menu, and if I have to bring and charge the iPad, I know I will live my best life and have a great time. But the anticipation leading up to it is really, really stressful because I've never left for this long. It's been like a full day of meetings or whatever it is, but I've never left for 5 days. You're doing great. Love watching you, and I know other women appreciate you. You are the sweetest. Thank you. I love watching you guys too. You guys should follow Imperfect Moms. They have really good content also. And I love connecting with people like you who I've never met in real life, but I feel like when you meet these women and you form these little communities on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever it is, there's sometimes more support there than there is within the people that are close to you geographically. And so I'm telling you right now, don't ever be afraid to lean on people who you're meeting. It's going to sound weird to say lean on people you're meeting online, because that's like kind of what the whole show Catfish is about. Hi, Jamie. But I do think that you can kind of weed out the good eggs and the bad eggs. And there are some amazing people who are living and sharing, oversharing online, but connecting with others, having such similar experiences. And I'm telling you that it is such a good source of support and different perspectives. So if you have that opportunity, don't be freaked out by it. You don't have to like tell your life story and give personal information, but there are so many women out there to lean on that have parallel experiences, and it can be very life-changing if you need that in your life, which we all need that in our life. Carol, one of my things was that my girls would always look cute, and then I understood why I saw little girls with play clothes and dress shoes. There is something to be said for when the dads dress the kids. That's very true, although my husband pays pretty close attention to the usual stuff that I put her in. So he probably won't even dress her, because when he goes to work, we have a sitter coming and she knows what she wears. So she'll probably just be in a diaper when she gets here. It'll be fine. Jen, yes, I'm leaving tomorrow and dealing with the same thing. It's almost more work to leave them to stay. I feel the exact same way. I kept questioning it, going, is this really worth it? Is it really worth it? And I know that it is. And I'm so glad that I'm going. It's like the one work-related thing this year that I committed to go to, and it's a big one. But you're right. It is, you start to like think about the stress of planning, and it almost seems not worth it. Stacy, I can very much relate to what you posted. I travel 3 times a year for work, and it's never easy to coordinate ever. I do enjoy the quiet and sleeping alone, but I feel you and your anxiety. I know you do, and I know how hard you work and how you travel. I don't know how you do it that often. Carol, the 11-year-olds. I know. I can't. I have an almost 11-year-old, and I would kill her if she was trolling on somebody else's, a grown woman's thing. You're going to have a great time, Mama. Go enjoy yourself. Just get past the stress of packing and scheduling the kiddos. I know, that's the packing is the other thing. My suitcase is sitting there, and I just started throwing stuff in there. I haven't organized it yet, and I'll feel better once I do that, but I don't even know what to bring with me. Jamie, I loved your Cooking with Rach Passover edition. Thanks. There was going to be more, but I'm not going to be here doing it. I'm not trolling. I'm pregnant. That's fine that you're pregnant, but you're being very aggressive. So it doesn't, you being pregnant, you came for tips. That's wonderful. But if you notice, the other people coming for tips aren't being ragey like you are. So I am happy to give you all the tips you want and support, but just be nice, be kind, just be kind. The Mom Diaries. It's hard being away one night. Oh, wait, I missed Shirley. What did you say? Hold on. Shirley, child, please. Cece's a fashion blogger. She dresses herself. That's true. The Mom Diaries. It's hard being away one night. I'm sure 5 will be tough. I'd tell you to sleep, but if it was me, I wouldn't sleep anyway, even without a knee in my back. I know, you're probably right. It's so hard being pregnant without parents. I don't even know if you guys are messing me with this point, so I don't even know what to do with you guys right now. Carol, amen. I love my social media peeps. It's true. Rachel, hi Rach. Stacy, I'm on Insta. I am Stacy. I'm doing Instagram also because I feel like there's a lot of people on there, and I'm only getting some of you on Facebook. So I'm trying to double dip. It's just awkward going back and forth and back and forth. Okay. So that's my vent session about traveling. I'm going to wrap this up because I really need to pack and do more laundry. But I want to show you something. If you saw, I posted, what's today? Today's Monday? I don't even remember. Posted yesterday? I posted yesterday. I'm doing a giveaway, a really fun giveaway. Tell me these are not the cutest gloves that you've ever seen, okay? I'm going to show you guys too. These are called Flip 'em the Bird for obvious reasons. I call these my new carpool gloves so that I can, when people are being really, really, really obnoxious in the carpool line, which if you have one of those carpool lines, you can get really ragey, and I don't like to display road rage in front of my kids or start cursing in front of them. So I'm just going to do this when I'm in the carpool line and be a lady. That's what I'm going to do. So I love these, and I love them even more because the company is owned by women, which I love supporting female-owned companies. I love supporting all local business and really cool businesses, but this is a Minnesota-based woman-owned company, which I think is awesome. And so these are mine. You can't have these, but I am giving away a pair, and I'm still running the contest. This is the pair that is up for grabs. They're navy with a little pink bird. One size fits all. So if you want them, you have a little bit more time to go and enter on Instagram, where you guys are on Instagram. You guys on Facebook have to go over to Instagram. Super easy to enter, and I will give them away shortly, but you will love them. You just have to be in the US for shipping purposes, but they're going to be my new carpool accessory. But you use them at work. If you have coworkers you can't deal with, use them at home. If you don't want to, if you feel like getting really crazy and you don't want to give your kids the finger, obviously, those are perfect. So I think that you guys should enter. Okay. Kelly, totally flip off and curse on the way to school. Always, I can't read, always with the kids. That's funny. Will they fit on your hands? They will fit on your hands. My hands are really small. I have small hands and they fit. They're fingerless, so you don't have to worry about them, fitting like a glove. You see what I did there? But they will totally fit. They're really, really cute. So that's going to be given away soon. So make sure, apologizing. I see. Okay. Make sure you enter. That is it. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'm going to stress pack, maybe stress eat some Oreos. I don't know. I'm going to see what the night brings. I appreciate all of you guys being here. To the 11-year-olds who joined me, I hope you learned something. And in all seriousness, if you are pregnant, I am always happy to give tips. I just ask that when you come here that you're respectful and kind, no matter what age you are. Just be respectful and kind. And don't forget to enter for the awesome gloves, and wish me luck on my, I'm not going to read that out loud, but thank you. Kelly, thank you. Thank you guys. I am going to have a good trip. I'm very excited. Thank you guys for all of your tips and tricks. Wish me luck on my flight. Wish me luck in my travels. Wish me luck being away from my babies. And I will speak to you guys next week and give everybody a recap of how it went down. I hope you all have a great rest of the week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. And now I have to end you guys. This is the only weird part, is I can't end them at the same time, so it's a little bit weird. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Thanks, Carol. All right, guys, have a great week. I will let you know when I get back how everything went. And don't forget to enter the giveaway for the awesome gloves, and I will speak to you guys next week. Bye.